Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about the myth of us using only 10% of our brains. Over millions and billions of years, evolution has done an incredible, fantastic job of building up this creature called the human being with magnificent brains that can do so much in the world and have this strange kind of experience and thing called consciousness. It is remarkable what we have achieved in such a short time using our brains, and we certainly could not do that if we only use 10% of our brain. So our brain to body size ratio is quite high. Our brains take up about 2% of our whole body mass, but this 2% of this blob inside our head takes about 20% of the energy of our whole body. So this is truly a working thing inside our heads that constantly processes information, all kinds of inputs and outputs. So there are many different debatable origins from the 10% myth, but the reality is that we use all of our brain. Our entire brain has many different areas for many different functions. It's not working all the time 100%. Some areas are more active than other areas, depending on what kind of task we're doing, what kind of state of mind we have. This influences blood flow and activity in our brains. If we did really use only 10% of our brains, then we can see evolutionarily right away why would you have this kind of a brain if you only use 10% of it. Then immediately the rest of the 90% of our brains would degenerate and just sort of waste away. You know the old expression like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So our brains are constantly active, all areas are firing all the time, different activities at different times. We use 100% of our brain just at different energies, different powers at different times, depending on what exactly we're doing. So every part of the brain is being used for different kind of tasks, and it's a complex, interconnected, beautiful, wonderful system. And 10% really is not anywhere close to the truth. So this is just the kind of misconception that somehow has sticked around. Doesn't really make a lot of sense if you think about it. Our brains are incredible things, and it's fascinating to study this interconnected system and this experience of us being here right now, which is profoundly strange, that come about from this kind of squishy blob that weighs no more than a few pounds, that is responsible for our entire civilization, the most beautiful art, the most heartbreaking moments, the most beautiful moments, all comes from this kind of thing. It's also an interesting question of why consciousness at all, but that's already a totally different topic. So we use 100% of our brains, different times, different activities, but overall we do use all of our brain. So this is just something I wanted to share, and I hope you got some interesting thoughts from this. So if you have any ideas, please leave it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.